The nation is abuzz with the celebration of the bank holiday weekend, but it's also a chance to pause and reflect on the electoral disaster that befell the Conservative Party on Thursday. Across the country, more than 1,000 Conservative councillors were unseated and 48 Tory administrations were swept away by voters. The BBC's national share showed the Conservatives on 26%, substantially lower than their already dismal 2019 performance. The 9-point projected Labour lead reflects the largest gap in 2 decades. The Trudeau 2019 strategy had aimed to attract Brexit-minded Red Wall Leave voters while also keeping the Remain-leaning Blue Wall supporters, but with Brexit complete and Jeremy Corbyn gone, the bill for this strategy has been due. As a result of increasing bills and struggling public services, massive swings happened across both sides of the Brexit divide. The biggest beneficiary of this setback was the Labour Party, netting more than 500 seats and 22 councils nationwide. The opposition took over many places in the election's battleground, including High Peak, Swindon and Plymouth. Furthermore, Labour's biggest gains were in Brexit-dominated areas such as Stoke, Mansfield and Hartlepool, further proof that the Brexit divide is no longer an obstacle for the party. Unfortunately, Labour had a much weaker showing in wards where graduates, students and ethnic minorities congregate. As a result, their support shifted from Remain-leaning areas to Leave-leaning terrain. Although potentially beneficial in the English general election battlegrounds, Labour's lack of appeal in Remain-oriented places could spell trouble if they take power at Westminster. Meanwhile, the Liberal Democrats cashed in on the Conservative slump, making a projected share of 20%, the highest since it joined the coalition in 2010 and gaining 400-plus seats and 12 councils. Voters have been more willing to back whoever is most likely to defeat Tory incumbents, and this worked particularly in the Lib Dems' favor. The Greens, too, made impressive headway, scoring a record-breaking result with more than 200 Green councillors and the party's first majority local administration. Green candidates have been increasingly successful, averaging 12% in the wards they stood in. Altogether, this marks the third election cycle in the last 30 years in which 3/4 of voters have rejected the Conservatives. This year, the anti-Conservative vote is split among Labour and smaller left-leaning parties, with voters strategically coming together behind any party that could provide a real challenge to Tory officials. This new electoral dynamic brings both risks and opportunities to Labour. The party must ensure it properly appeals to Remainers if it hopes to hold on to power. All in all, this election showed clearly that the electorate is fed up with the Conservatives and their incumbents, a fact that plays well for all of the government's opponents. Together, we can hope for tactical voting on a scale not seen since 1997 as disgruntled voters arise in opposition to the Tory establishment.